Hey guys, I hope you're good. So today we are talking real estate investment trust. They call them REITs or they call them REITs. So you can just say trusts or is it trust? So it's up to you. So it's still REIT. So we'll be looking at what is REIT. Is it a good idea to invest in them? What is the biggest REIT in South Africa? And then we're going to look at the biggest property developer in South Africa. And then the highest paying, we're going to look at the highest paying rate. And then the best one to invest in, the 90% rule and the REITs that Warren Buffett owns. So what is a REIT? REIT is a real estate investment trust, just like I said. So the company that owns the properties, they own real estate. And what they do is they allow individual to invest in that large scale, and then they normally pay the dividends. Normally, it's 90% of their taxable income as dividends to the shareholders. So if let's say you invest in that rate, what they normally do is they'll pay 90% or more, sometimes even more than 90% as a taxable income as dividends. So meaning that let's say they make 100,000. So just an example, obviously they make probably millions. So if they get 100,000, they're gonna pay 90% or more than 90% as dividends to their shareholders. So if you invest and you're part of the shareholder, you're gonna get your dividends. So yeah, that's how they operate. They own offices, they own commercial spaces, they own hotels, data centers, healthcare facilities, everywhere. They're everywhere, malls. So yeah, R is a good idea. Why would somebody say it's a bad idea to invest in property? And the good part of it is like you don't really have to go there and own that property. You don't have to worry about the levies. You don't have to worry about the rates and tax. You don't have to worry about the condition. You don't have to, worry about the contracts, the agency. You just invest and you just make money. So those guys are paying 90% of their income as dividends. So why is it a bad idea? Why would you say it's a bad idea? So surely yes, that's a good idea. It's a good idea to invest in them. So what is the biggest rate in South Africa? We are looking at it. It's called Growth Point Properties Limited. I'm gonna put their link on my description as well, or you can also Google them and find them. So the key financial highlights is like 2023. So the total property assets is 179 billion. That's a lot. South African portfolio value, looking at 70 billion. Offshore assets, we're talking about 45%. So distribution income per share, we're looking at 157.6. So dividends per share is 130 cents. And net asset value per share, you're looking at 2,151 cents. So yeah, that's it. You have it. You've got the biggest one. If you're looking to invest in the biggest one, here's your giant. So yeah. So who is the biggest property developer in South Africa? Um, just like previously, it's the biggest REIT and it's also the biggest and the leading property developer in South Africa. So we still have Growth Point Properties as the leading or as the biggest. Then you've got Atterbury Property, and then you've got Baldwin Properties, you've got Rabi Property Group, and then we've got Calgo 3 M3. So I think probably you've heard about some of these properties, but maybe you haven't heard about Growth Point, but that's the biggest one in South Africa. So what is the highest paying rate? You'll be surprised when you see the biggest rate not being the one that is paying more dividends, becoming the second best. So yeah, the number one is Tremathon capital investment. And then obviously second one becomes growth point properties. I gave you top 11. And based on how they pay out in terms of dividends. You have a list there. You've got already redefined properties. Yeah, so you've got them there, so you can see which one is the highest paid as from or as of May 2025. And obviously, as the time goes, obviously the stuff changes based on the performance of the company. So it's always good to be on the lookout. So, but as of May 2025, we're looking at that one Tremathon capital investment at 17.74%. So, which is the best rate to invest in? My advice to you is to not look at one rate. But if you only want to invest in one rate, you got to look at how the rate has been performing in the last 5 years. You look at their dividends. Are they dropping? Are they increasing? So you got to look at the decline of it. We're looking at consistency. Is it just highest paying because of they're still new to the market? They just want to attract investors? Or is it highest paying because it's making enough profit? So you got to look at those kind of factors when you are looking for investment. So if I were to invest myself, I'll look at growth point properties, even if it's number two. Why? Because of they are big in the market. They are number one in the market of property. They're the biggest developer in South Africa. So that will be my motivation to invest in it. Is Tremato a bet? Is it a bet? Is it a bet investment? No, you can have a look at it. Just look at how they've been doing, and then you can probably take a pick too. So yeah. So what is the 90% rule for rates? You probably heard of it, or probably you've never heard of it. But the rule says the rate must distribute at least, we're talking about a minimum of 90% of their income to their shareholders as dividends in order to maintain their rate status and to avoid paying more taxable income. So they are required, they must give you 90% of their taxable income. They need to distribute a minimum of 90% in order for them to maintain their rate status. So it's very important for them to distribute those dividends. So yeah, that's what the rule means. So which REITs does Warren Buffett own? So according to my research, I've got two. So the stock capital, which is sitting at 377 million US dollars. The Home Service of America sitting at 4.7 billion dollars. And according to Forbes, its net value sitting at plus minus 377 billion US dollars. So yeah. Thank you for taking your time in watching this video. If you're new to this channel, please do not forget to subscribe. Please leave a comment below as well if there is clarity that is needed. If you do not understand one of the topics that I was talking about, or if you want more elaboration, please don't forget to share and like as well. So in my next video, I'll be talking about derivatives. And yeah, stay tuned. I'll see you in my next video.